This is part 2 of Pratik Pen review. If you haven't seen part 1, check the link in the description. Today we will be reviewing Pratik Pen multiliners. Hi everyone and welcome back to Calligraphy Masters channel. My name is Milenist and today is part 2 of Pratik Pen review. Let's see if multiliners are better and easier to use than the original Pratik Pen broad edge pens. So those are the Pratik Pens multiliners. They have 8 different sizes, starting from the smallest one, which is 5mm. You can see it has a thick and a thin line. Everything else is the usual as the original broad edge Pratik Pens. And as you can see here, I haven't fixed the leather yet, just need a bit of glue. Next one is 7mm, which has 2 thick lines, one of my favorites. 9mm, which has 2 thin lines on the edges and a thick line in the middle. This is a very nice multiliner, but every pen that has those thin lines are a bit difficult to use. Next is the 10mm with 2 thick lines on the edges and 1 thin line in the middle. Next is 5 thin lines, 11mm. This is a pen which I love. I like it so much, but the thing is, all those thin lines make it very difficult to use. Next is the 13mm, 3 thin line and 1 thick line. Next is the 14mm, which has 1 thin line on one edge and then 2 thin lines on the other, and kind of in the middle has this thick line. The last one is 15mm, 1 thin line, another one which is thicker, and the last one very thick. I will start with making 2 strokes and 2 letters A with each pen, so you can see what strokes each one provides. As you can see, on some pens the lines are mixed and the strokes are messed up. This can be prevented by touching the nib on piece of paper before you start writing, but I didn't think about it when I was writing, and usually this happens when there is too much ink in the nib. Those multiline pens are not for traditional calligraphy, in my opinion. They are more for you to have fun and to create some detailed and different strokes in your letters. And because the nibs are multi-lined, it is much harder to write with them, because you have to keep the stroke to be with the same lines connected, which is a bit more difficult than using a usual broad edge pen. Next step is to show you how they perform when you're writing a word, and since I love multi-line pens, I decided to write the word love with each one of them. Let me know how do you say love in your own language or languages that you know. The paper I'm using in this video is the same as the one I used in part 1 of Pratik Pens review, which will be linked in the description, and that paper was A3 printing paper 80 GM. The ink that I'm using for writing love is Colorex watercolor by PBO, which I'm usually using in most of my videos. Automatic pens have also multi-line pens, but I'm not sure how many are in their range. Pratik Pen multiliners are 8 different sizes with different multi-line patterns on each, and as the original Pratik Pens, the multi-lines comes with a leather pen roll as well if all 8 are bought together. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that they are the same price as the original ones, which is $12 a pen. As in the beginning I mentioned, when there is too much ink on the nib, you can experience issues if you haven't touched the nib on a separate paper before you start writing. Those issues, however, could be a cool effect. For example, if you're using a 3-line pen and your letters are supposed to have 3 lines in each stroke, but sometimes the first 1 or 2 strokes can end up with 2 or even 1 lines in the stroke, which could be very annoying, but in my experience very often I like it because it gives the letters a unique beauty. Sometimes, however, this can ruin your letter and could be very annoying. It was definitely more struggling writing with the multiliners than writing with the original broad edge versions of Pratik, but at the same time the letters became much more beautiful and unique. I didn't like so much the first few multiliners, which are the ones with the smaller sizes, but this could be because I'm not used in writing with such small sized nibs, and I usually prefer bigger sized letters. But to me the bigger sized letters of the multiliners looked really amazing. Some of the words became beauty of their own. Let me know the pattern of which pen did you like the most. I think the music nib, which is the one with the 15 strokes, was one of my favorite. However, I loved the last 2-3 multiliners as well. I haven't tried using them with another ink, and I don't know how they will perform, for example, if you are using gouache. But if anyone has tried, feel free to share in the comments. Also, if there are other specific inks that you think would work better, please let us know. About the paper, I've tried before writing with the multiliners on 200 GM paper, which had also some grained surface, but this is even more harder to write with, and it has to be done much slower and much more careful because the sharpness of the nibs and all points on the multilines very often cut into the paper and a bunch of issues can come out of it. I have yet to experiment writing with the multiliners on different kinds of papers, but if you have more experience with them and you've tried different papers, please let us know which one worked the best. Writing the last word love and then moving to making a calligram with the multiliner. There actually was supposed to be a calligram in the Pratik Pen review part 1, but I forgot to put it in the video. However, I will upload it together with some more footage of both reviews on my personal channel, which you can also find linked in the description. After the calligram, I will write some more stuff just to show you some variety of the strokes and for you to see the effects of the multiliners when used to write a longer text. I don't really know what more to talk about the pens, so please give me some suggestions on what is interesting for you to know when you're watching one of those reviews and what are the things and the info that you're curious about the tools. Apart from this review, I wanted to mention something which I forgot to do in the last few videos, and it's because of the quarantine. I released a 21 days challenge on Instagram for my challenge account, which is Calivember. So if you're bored or don't know what to do during those crazy times, feel free to jump over Calivember on Instagram and check the prompt list if you're interested in joining the challenge. Once this challenge is over, right after it, there will be a 30 days challenge for those of you who are willing to write daily. Before I finish this video, I just wanted to show you how to fix the leather problem of Pratik Pens, which I talked in the beginning. Very simple, just get some universal glue, put some on it and do as it's shown in the video. Once you've done it, let it dry and you're ready to go. That's it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think about the Pratik Pen multiliners and which one was your favorite. To be honest, I'm a bit confused. Some of them are really nice to write with, but some of them was really a pain in the... Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, a thumbs up will be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and click the bell icon. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, keep writing. In today's video, we'll be reviewing Pratik Pen multiliners. This is part 2 of Pratik Pen review.
This is